Ikan keke mailoy iloy, mulut tak terkata-kati bersiul mada sayang. Ikan kelama mailai ilai, jiwakan rindu siapa akan belai. Ikan keke mailoy iloy, jiwa harus terus terang takut makin hilang. Ikan kelama mailai ilai, ikut marginin besok ditangkap orang. Ikan kelama mailai ilai, ikut marginin besok ditangkap orang.
Alright, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning to everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, our keynote session will begin shortly. To ensure the smooth running of today's event, we kindly request your attention to the following house rules. Please ensure your mobile phones are switched off or set to the silent mode throughout the session. Guests are requested to be seated at your respective seats and minimize movements inside the hall during the proceedings. Guests are requested to stand up during the announcement of the arrival of the VIP. Thank you for your cooperation and assistance. Thank you for your cooperation and assistance. Ladies and gentlemen, announcing the arrival of Yang Berbahagia, Dato Adissasikin bin Ali, Managing Director of RHB Islamic Group, accompanied by the honorable guests to the hall. guys may have a seat. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh and very good morning. Yang berbahagia Dato Adissasikin bin Ali, Managing Director of RHB Islamic Bank Berhad. Yang berusaha Profesor Dr. Muhammad Izzani bin Muhammad Zain, Deputy Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs and Alumni, Universiti Malaysia Terengganu. Members of the top management of HEPA UMT, distinguished ESG 2026 judges, delegates of the ESG Global Young Leader Summit 2026, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Universiti Malaysia Terengganu and the ESG 2026 Organising Committee, it is an honor to extend a warm welcome to all of you to ESG Global Young Leader Summit 2026. Respected guests, we have now come to one of the most anticipated sessions of today's program, the keynote session of the ESG Global Young Leader Summit 2026. It is both a privilege and honor to introduce our keynote speaker, a respected leader whose vision, expertise, and commitment have inspired meaningful change within their field. Our keynote speaker needs little introduction. Widely respected for their outstanding leadership, visionary thinking, and unwavering commitment to excellence, they have inspired countless individuals and organizations through their work. As the Managing Director of RHB Islamic Bank Berhad, Yang berbahagia Dato Adissasikin Ali brings extensive expertise in Islamic finance and sustainable corporate governance. In these sessions, Dato will share insights on mobilizing young leaders as catalysts for blue justice, exploring how youth leadership, ethical finance, and sustainable ocean governance intersect to safeguard our marine ecosystems and ensure equitable economic prosperity for coastal communities. Without further ado, it is our utmost invites and welcome Yang berbahagia Dato Adissasikin Ali, Managing Director of RHB Islamic Bank Berhad, to deliver his keynote address. Please welcome.
Yang berusaha Profesor Dr. Muhammad Izzani bin Muhammad Zain, Deputy Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs and Alumni, Universiti Malaysia Terengganu, members of the top management of HEPA UMT, distinguished ESG 2026 judges, delegates of the ESG Global Young Leaders Summit 2026, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning, still morning, okay. It gives me great pleasure to be here today. First of all, Alhamdulillah, with the grace of Allah, we are all gathered here today. I'm truly honored to be given yet another opportunity to engage with this group aspiring young leaders. It was the last I spoke about this was last 2 years, the first inaugural ESG Young Leaders Summit organized by UMT. And I want to express my appreciation, deepest appreciation to UMT for establishing a remarkable platform that not only fosters knowledge, but also leadership and also inspires sustainability and meaningful action towards a better future for all. As a start, allow me to begin with a reflection that beautifully captures this timeless truth for the international student. Okay, this quote is in Malay, but I'll try to translate. Setiap generasi mewarisi zamannya dengan cabaran yang berbeza. Namun, sejarah sentiasa menilai setiap generasi melalui satu persoalan yang sama. Apakah yang kita tinggalkan kepada mereka yang datang selepas kita? So basically, it's all about every generation faces not the same challenges. It will be different challenges according to time, but what's the same is always the question of what do we leave behind for the future generation. So that's a starting point. And for you guys, that's a starting point whereas you are taking one good, brave action, and hopefully by having here, with the quest of having knowledge, getting awareness on about ESG, inshallah, there'll be positive things that will come along, not only for you, but only for the generations to come. And this is a legacy that we will all bring. I'll be gone, and so will you. But definitely what's left will be what do we leave behind. Okay? So the true subject of this summit is therefore not only ESG, but also on leadership and responsibility. Let's imagine Malaysia and the world in 2050. Who will be sitting in boardrooms, laboratories, even universities and other social enterprises? It's your generation. It's going to be you and your generation. Okay? Even some of you will become CEOs of banks. Okay? Definitely I'll be gone. Okay? I'm only 4 years away from my retirement and looking forward towards it. Looking at this all, I see more than students. You guys are more than students. You will be the one sitting up there, okay? Leading whatever organizations, leading whatever corporations, whatever that may be. And the real question here is therefore is not whether you will lead. We, by ourselves, individually, we are leaders by ourselves. Okay? We lead ourselves. We lead the people around us. We lead the family. We lead the communities. Okay? So therefore, as leaders of tomorrow, you will enter a world defined by rapid technological advancement, AIs, uncertainty on geopolitics and all that. I can tell you that maybe Prof. Izani also can second to that. During our time, when we were studying, the world was less complicated. Very much very much less complicated than what it is today. Okay? But leadership has never been measured solely by one's ability to embrace technology. Okay? It is actually measured by your wisdom, our wisdom, to use technology, to use all information that's made available to us, to make good, sound, fair decision. Good, sound, fair, timely decision. Okay? For the benefit not only to us, but benefit to the many. Okay? As we prepare the next generation of leaders, we must first understand the realities that define the world that we are in and the future generation will inherit. In my view, there are 4 defining forces that is shaping our future. First, AI. AI. Simple words, but deep meaning. Okay? And for you, during our time, there was no such thing as AI. Now, if you think that AI, as much as it will be helping you, to a certain extent, let me tell you, AI will not be on your side. I'm giving you the reality of life. In banking, there will be a lot of services whereby there will be no need for human anymore. Okay? It's not only in banking. There's a lot of things as well. So I'm giving you the reality of life. Jobs used to be done by human will be taken over by machines. Okay? So basically, Okay, don't be too alarmed. Don't be too alarmed. Definitely there'll be jobs, but it's going to be the different kind of jobs. Different kind of jobs that calls for wisdom and judgment. Okay, chances are AI super intelligent, but what AI doesn't have is good sound judgment based on values of humanity, feelings. Okay, as much as they say there'll be advancement in terms of neuron technology, whatever. Okay, I can quote to you. I just came back from Shenzhen. We visited Huawei Center. It's mind blowing. And looking at things, I am frightened. I'm frightened from the future generation when it comes to talking about job availability. But yet, I'm convinced. I am convinced that there's one thing that AI can never take away, especially in business. Okay, let me give you, because this is not my quote. This is a quote of Jack Ma. Who knows who Jack Ma is? Okay, that's the guy who invented e-commerce. Okay, and I happen to be in one session with Jack Ma, and I take it. This is something that which I learned, and I take it forward. He said, in doing things, you have to have two things. You have to be smart, and you have to work hard. Okay, but you're talking about smartness and working hard. Can you beat computers? Can you beat technology? Cannot. Okay, so meaning that if you take that as a benchmark, we human, we are nowhere. We can never outsmart computers. We can never outwork computers. They don't need break. They don't need work-life balance. I know this is your words, your buzzword now, work-life balance. Right? Okay. Computers, AI doesn't need that. So, if we can take AI to do those things, where are we? We'll be nowhere. But Jack Ma said, mind you, relationship is based on, business is based on relationship. And relationship is based on trust. And trust is a function of emotions, love, and all that. So, this is the thing that is not available and will not be available, okay, unless they call it artificial love, okay, artificial feelings. Okay. So, in the end, this will separate us from the AI. And in relationship, in business, in normal things, because we deal among humans, right? So whenever there's two humans, you put two guys together, what connects them is just emotion, trust. Before you can deal with people, you need to trust people. But trust is a function of emotion. So that is what it is, okay? And basically, when you are in this setting, one thing that you should take away is, or one thing that you should take away from me is actually, this is an opportunity for you to connect with people. Okay? When you connect with people, this is where you build relationship. You know each other. You trust each other. Then the world will be out there for you. Okay? You can be the super duper student. Let me tell you. Okay? I'm telling you a reality. I am not the best of students during my batch. In my batch. I'm not the smartest one. Okay? But yet, I'm not boasting. But yet, I'm one of the top one within my batch in terms of career. Why? You ask me, simple. People ask me, how do you get here? How did you get here so fast? So far? To me, one of my strengths is about connecting the dots. Okay? You connect the dots. Connect the dots means you need to connect with other people. other dots. Because in organization as well, even if you are in university, I know that some of you, or a majority of you, are leaders, student leader and everything. Can you achieve things by just working alone or just working within your circle? You need to connect the dots. Okay? So leadership is about ability to connect with one another. Right? So take it from me that you need, if you don't have it, you need to learn to be one that's able to connect the dots. Okay? And for this, I can share you a personal experience. You can quote me, you can say whatever. I don't judge, I don't live by your judgment. Okay? Take a guess. I know that nowadays, at your age, during my time, I know you guys are very concerned about your personality. You do your MBI, MBTI, whatever personality test, right? Because you need to know what kind of personality you are. Because you're so concerned about people liking you and all that. I know, okay? Not my time, okay? But whatever personality that you think you are, okay, you need to understand. Ability to connect the dots is not only dependent on your personality. I know I can take, maybe I can, if I can put a line and I say, okay, one half, this is for people with high people skill, high P. Another half is people with high T, which is technical skill. There's only two personality. People with high P, which is people, or people with high T, technology. These are the guys who doesn't want to speak to people, would rather do things on their own, blah, 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 right? So take a guess. Take a guess. Which personality that I have? Take a guess. Please, someone. Who says that I'm high P? I'm high on people. Who says that I'm high on T, technology, or technical? Okay, I can say that majority of you would say that I am high on P, right? Because I speak, I connect dots and all that. Well, let me tell you, my personality has never changed internally when I was studying up to now. I am super high on T. I'm low on P. Okay? So think, if a guy who's low on P personally, can he perform like this, talking to you, trying to connect dots? I've been connecting dots. I've been doing business. Okay? It's all about knowing yourself, knowing what needs to be done at certain things. When I am in my job, I need to connect dots. I need to make things happen. And I learn. I know my personality. But in my job setting, I learn, I adjust. So basically, I'm telling you, ability to adjust, agility is key in your world. You need to. But you need to understand who you are, what kind of personality you are. I'm not asking you to be someone that you are not. Okay? I'm not forcing myself to be, when it comes to job, to change. I'm not. Because I enjoy doing it, and I will do it because of there's a purpose in job. Okay? So that's another takeaway from me. Know your personality. Know certain circumstances may call for you to be a different personality. But do it consciously, do it with faith, do it with sincerity. Right. Okay, so the first one was artificial intelligence. We know, we take it. Okay. Second, these are factors that's changing the world. It's actually climate change. Okay. So ESG, one of the major things people talking about is climate change. If you have not heard, people, the UN, United Nations, been telling, and a lot of even governments are subscribing, is about 2050, the 2 degree, okay? 2 degrees. If they predicted, if nothing is being done by the world, by all nations, there will be 2 degrees increase in world temperature, and that will create havoc. There will be a lot of things. You can see floods and everything. So that's why people now talking about this trying to get it to lower as possible, the 2 degrees thingy. Okay? And there'll be more economic uncertainty. During our time, you can predict, even during my time in economic class, we know there will be cycles, 8-year cycles. Now, even as a banker, I'm scratching my head because that 8-year cycle doesn't apply anymore. The cycle seems to be erratic. Even 1 year can change so many things. So you live in this kind of world, very uncertain. Okay? And the last is actually, this is not often quoted, but I'm quoting it. The fourth, perhaps the most important of all, is the growing challenge of trust. There are a lot of trust deficits in this world. Okay? There are a lot. People do not trust governments. People do not trust each other. Okay? People do not trust. People have lost faith in systems and all that. So, this is actually, so it is upon us to recognize that, okay, basically it's a human that drives this trust. But let us be the one to start it, as in we need to be trustworthy before we expect others to be, that we can trust on other people. All right? So, these four forces are not isolated. They are deeply interconnected. And together, they shall shape our decisions, responsibilities, and expectations placed upon the leaders of tomorrow. Okay, let me just give you one example of trust. Can I see show of hands who has used AI within this last week in whatever sort? I know all, okay? Something is wrong if any one of you doesn't raise their hands. So basically, yes, AI gives you information. We live in a world whereby access to information is asymmetric. So meaning that it's democratic. Everyone can get a lot of information. What you can get is as good as what I can get. Okay? But back then, not everyone can get this kind of information at your fingertips. Back then, information becomes a scarce resource whereby who has better information will lead the world. Okay? That's an age. Now, information is democratic, quite democratic. Everyone can have access to information unless it's not a publicly available information. So now the question is, do you trust your AI? Do you trust your AI? Some guys take it as a wholesome thing, God-given words, next to God-given words. They trust whatever. Okay, but let me tell you, if you were to look at things, AI is actually, that's machine learning. It learns based on what was fed to it. If garbage is fed to it, they still take that as good. Okay? So mind you, AI is a tool, is an assisting tool. You use that to the most, to your advantage. But need to understand, the final call is yours, human judgment. Okay? So there needs to be a human judgment. Because as leaders, again, let me tell you, leadership is a position of trust. Remember that. Leadership is a position of trust. Can you tell me, do you call yourself leader if there's no follower? Right? But to have followers, what do you think that becomes the basis of leadership? For someone to follow someone. Trust, right? Right. So now, for the leaders to be trusted, there are elements for the followers to look at what leaders have. Okay? And the most important is actually, this is what we call purpose. Purpose-based leadership. Okay? You need to have purpose. What kind of purpose? There are some guys would have purpose, but only meant for himself. He wants to have likes, so many likes. Okay? He wants to have the name. Okay? Yes, you can have that. But let me tell you, would that be something which is sustainable for you as a leader? It's only a matter of time. People know that this guy is whatever you call it, right? People will start losing faith in him, losing trust in him. So there goes leadership. So the main element of leadership is purpose. You need to have purpose. And this is where I'm going to link to where you are today, ESG Future Leaders Young Summit, right? So what's the purpose of this? Why are you here today? Why are you here today? Because you want to put it on your Facebook, whatever, just to have the likes? So I leave it to you. But let's have a common understanding that let's check our purpose. Okay? The purpose, if you can have this right, it will be something that will bring you far. That will lead towards you leaving a good legacy behind. Okay? As a human, let alone become a leader. So basically, I would like to educate you a bit about this simple. If you talk about ESG, to me, it's all about this concept of 3 P's. 3 P's. First P is profit. Okay, chances are when you talk about organizations, most of all are profit driven. And you guys will be getting into the job market, leading companies, be part of the companies. And chances are, first of all, companies are all profit driven. Okay? And in getting towards profit, in short, companies who would want to be sustainable, okay, needs to ensure that their actions, their reactions toward what's happening in the world would bring positive impact towards 2 other P's, which is people and planet. So, look at where people and planet fits within ESG. Planet is E. People is social. Okay? So basically this 3 P's concept, if you understand, you get it right, it will bring you far. Because you need to understand, some people, or perhaps before this, people do not talk about this concept. If you study economics, okay, give me the definition of what's the objective of a company. Maximizing profit. Okay, you are right to a certain extent, but the better definition of economics, if you want to get A+, okay, is maximization of shareholders' wealth, right? I still remember this. Years ago, I was studying. Okay, maximization of shareholders' wealth. Okay, so that was the classical example. That's a classic theory of economy. Maximization of shareholders' wealth, period. That's it. So meaning that You just do whatever lah. Just do whatever as long as you maximize the shareholders' wealth, you are good. But that is no longer relevant because you take, let me give you an example. If someone says, okay, I'll maximize my shareholders' wealth, I'll do whatever necessary, the end justifies the means. I will do negative things that affect people, affect planet. You know, certain companies even back then destroy the earth, destroy the environment. They abuse people, engage child labor and all that, right? So it's damaging. And companies that do that will not be sustainable in the long run. Would you want to be a company, working with a company that, okay, employs you today, next year, goes under, kaput? Okay? Because they do not practice sustainable ways in getting profit. Okay? So basically, if there is to be a redefinition of this, maximize sustainable, maximize shareholders' wealth, again, I'm relaying what I got from my study as well. I was in Harvard Business School, and the redefinition of business is actually making decent profit decently. See? Still making profit, but decent profit decently. So meaning that in whatever that we do, in my bank, we practice that. In getting towards profitability, we ensure every product, every services, every actions of us, the employees, will need to check that we are to bring positive impact to people and planet. Okay? So take that. If you get that right, chances are you'll be a good leader of tomorrow. I can relate to you a story just when I was flying in this morning. I happened to be, I bumped into one of the vice chancellor of one university. Would not mention name. Okay. We were talking about this, and he said, "So where are you going?" I said, "I'm going for this ESG summit and all that." He said, "Oh, okay. ESG is quite important because," and he said that in that university they have not gone big into the ESG because what's there is just only some studies about SDG and all that, but they have not related to ESG. And he said that, "Yeah, I realized that this is important because my son went for a job interview, and one of the question is, tell us, what do you know about ESG?" And my son couldn't even answer that because he has zero knowledge on ESG. That was related to me just now by one of the VC. So it dawned upon me that saying that, oh, okay, I thought that knowledge on ESG is prevalent to all universities, and universities have somehow got into their curriculum. Okay, so whatever it is today, take you take this opportunity, as this is something which is creating awareness on ESG. Take the opportunity in terms of enjoying what's coming. I know that you have had a few sessions yesterday, okay, and what more to come. Because to me, let me again, there's another concept in life, in professional life as well, okay. You need to have passion, okay. When in a professional world, you need to have passion. If you do not have passion, chances are you will not enjoy your job. You will not perform 110%. I'm not talking about 100%. 100% is for normal people. You should aim to be abnormal people, because that's what my aim will always be. It's always about 110, 120%. I don't want to be a 100% guy, because the next guy next to me can deliver 100%. I want to be the guy that delivers 120%. Okay? So, how then you drive yourself? It's about passion. If you talk about ESG, oh yeah, I went to that UMT summit and you brag about, oh, I know about ESG. But let me tell you, it will not take you far. You need to have passion. Okay? Then how do you inject passion to yourself? First, ask yourself, why am I here? What's in it for me? We are all human. Okay? Human starts, whether you know it or you don't know it, subconsciously your mind will say, if I were to do things, what's in it for me? So what's in it for you in terms of ESG? Okay? One thing that I've made it clear that you don't know ESG, chances are, when you go for a job interview, if you ask about that, do not tell me that, oh, I should have listened to that guy. Okay? So that's one. But actually, this is close to our heart, actually. As human, okay, we have duty. For the Muslim, okay, let me tell you that ESG actually is not a new thing in Islam. It's not a new thing in Islam. Go and check. We have ChatGPT and all that. Go and check about, this is what we call Maqasid Sharia, MAQASID, Maqasid Sharia. In Islam, actually, it has been there ever since the religion is being introduced. God says that in Maqasid Sharia there are five things. One is we have responsibility to preserve life. Okay? So meaning that when you talk about life, it's your life, it's the life of your people around you, society as well. Isn't that social? Okay? And another thing is actually we have the duty to preserve the environment. We are not to do things that is harmful to people, to planet. Because in Islam, we are the Khalifah, we are the Caliphs, we are the one entrusted by God to administer the world, the resources which is given. Okay? But, okay, let's not just take it from the Islamic point of view. On humanity as well. As human, doesn't matter what creed you are, what race you are, what color of your skin, you all talk about the same thing. Preserving the earth, using whatever God-given resources to the fullest for the benefit of ourselves, our family, our society. Right? So, I think that's a starting point of the awareness. Please be aware that we have impact. Our thoughts, our actions will have impact to ourselves, to family, to society, to the world at large, to environment. I think I have given my piece, though may not be something big. I hope I have given you some insights. And for this, I wish you all the best for the ESG Summit, and I hope that you can take away a lot of benefits, okay? Starting to have an awareness and maybe translating that into actions which are good not only to you, to the society, to the family, to the world at large. Thank you. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I was given the notice that there is to be a Q&A. Okay. Okay, yes, please.
Test.
Okay, tested.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dato, soalan saya ni lebih pada pengalaman Dato.
Sure.
jika tidak keberatan, tadi Dato ada mengatakan Dato ada menghadiri Huawei conference session dan Dato kata it was mind blowing. Boleh ke kami Dato sharekan apa yang mind blowing? Even pada Dato pun Dato dah boleh rasa benda tu mind blowing. Apa lagi kami ni? Terima kasih Dato.
Okay, all right. So the question is for the benefit of who doesn't quite understand Malay. She was relating to my experience. I just came back from Huawei, and I was saying that the experience there is quite mind-blowing. So she was asking for further explanation. What's the mind-blowing thing, kind of thing? Okay. All right. Let me try to recollect something which is not too lengthy. Okay. You know that when it comes to AI, it's all about the West versus Chinese. All right. There's a lot of geopolitics in this. Okay. And when I was there, one thing that caught my attention was Huawei. Actually, this is about human. I'm sharing with you that we should have this spirit. So Huawei was trying to compete with the West. And there was not only, I think there was not too far back when US start clamping on them. US banned Huawei. A lot of Western companies banned Huawei from going forward. But after the ban, their growth rate was even double. Okay? The growth rate was even double. And it was explained to us that they say that we take the resolve that the ban from US, the ban from Europe was not a bane to our growth, but it gives them more resolve to ensure that they come up with more and more innovation. Okay? And even it's a clear eye-opener for me when they say that when it comes to chip technology, okay, because it's all about microprocessing speed, ability, and all that. They say what's available in Huawei, what's available in Chinese chips is not on par with the NVIDIA and all that. So in terms of technology, the West has better chips. Okay, their chips is a bit backwards. But in terms of computing ability, they are on par. Because what they did was actually, it's not about trying to come up with new chips, but with whatever chips that they have, they organize it in terms that when you put things together, the performance is as good as NVIDIA chips. So basically, what I learned from here is about being innovative. Okay? It's not about when you are knocked down, you just say, okay, that's it. There goes my world. I will hunker down. That's it. Okay? So we need to be using whatever that we have, resolve that we have, whatever ability that we have to make the best of it. Okay? So that's one that I can share with you. Okay? And another thing which is quite scary to me is actually, now they're talking about, okay, back then if you remember, technology is based on graphical user interface, GUI, graphics, right? It's about camera. This is where you have camera, you have graphics, and all the language is based on that. They interpret what they see. But now AI is based on, the next level is LUI, language user interface. They are coming up, or even now, if you go to China, you don't have to type. They speak. Based on this, they speak to AI, you get what you want. Okay? So no longer typing. The Chinese are not typing on their phone. They speak to their phone. So they have moved from LUI, from GUI to LUI. But next thing that's coming is actually neuron. You don't have to speak. You just think. That thing will come in front of you. Okay. So that's the mind-blowing kind of thing. Okay, all right, next.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
My name is Isra, PhD student, UMT. I'm from Sudan. And I'm honored to be here today and listen to this nice advice, and hopefully it's gonna give us strength in. Again.
Sure, can. I can hear you.
So I have heard too many successful people like you, and they all share their successful and how they achieve and how they reach to their goal. As you say, you prefer to give like 120 of your energy, but actually rare rare of them like share the darkest moment, the moment that you feel like emptiness, feel like you cannot give more. So we are human, and we are going through this moment many times. So I would be appreciate if you share advice how to get survive of this moment, how to feel the emptiness when sometimes come, how to encourage yourself during the dark night. I would be so happy if you share this.
All right, okay, yes, appreciate that. Appreciate that. There's a bit personal as well, right? But it's okay, it's all right. It's for the benefit of many, right? Kind of thing. Yeah, life is not a bed of roses, okay? And I've told people that life is not linear, straight. If life is linear, I wouldn't be standing here. If life is linear, I would be maybe a top surgeon. Seriously. I didn't study, initially I didn't study. My aim was to become a surgeon. I want to become a doctor. Okay? But I did my pre-med, and during my pre-med first year, I was kicked out of university. Yep. That was my mistake. Okay? But maybe I fooled around too much, didn't study. But it's okay. It's okay. But that was my darkest moment, and I felt like I'm as low as a cow. Seriously. But I bounced back, because I learned that no one else will pick you up if you fall. It's all about you. Okay? Not even your family, not even your loved ones. They can always say, they can always encourage. But the one to pick yourself up, to stand up, is you. Right? It's all up to you. That's all. Even to get to 120%, no one asks you to do that. No one asks you. Even you at job level, your KPI is only 100%. Okay? But you need to push yourself. Okay? So, in short, I can say, if I can share, do not live based on expectation. I'm never driven on expectation. Because expectations are just too many variables. You put an expectation of your father, your mother, your whoever, we can't control the expectation. Okay? You just can't, and you will fall short as expectation. No one can get to 100% of people's expectation that you can't control. But be driven by aspiration. I'm driven by aspiration. I want to be there. I want to perform 120%. Though people say that you just perform 100%, you're good. Because when you aspire, it comes from within. And I'm not stressful of what people's expectations are. Life could be so stressful if you live on people's expectation. Okay? Be driven by aspiration. That's what I want. That's what I believe in. All right. I hope. Okay, last question I was told. Sorry.
Alright, good day. So my name is Rashida and I'm from Sultan Idris Education University. I must say that recently, 2 months ago, RHB held a program at University Pendidikan Sultan Idris, which is RHB Ocean Harmony and Mahasiswa. And I was one of the participants.
Did you win?
Yeah, I got top 3. Thank you. So, and then now I'm right here for ESG program under RHB2. Okay, so I must say, I'm not sure if this question is quite controversial, but
That's no matter. As long as you don't go personal, I'm fine.
Okay. Ever since that I joined the Mahasiswa Brand Challenge and then right now Global Young Leaders Summit under ESG, I have noticed that we always gathered like future young leaders, which is yang berjawatan tinggi lah, I must say. But what about the normal students that we want them also to see the initiative on ESG? I must say that I'm not so confident in just like involving young leaders, the one who have like high profile in their university. I would be more pleasured if we involve the whole normal students in one university to acknowledge what is the benefits of ESG and how can it give an impact to the ecosystem, and is there any initiative that RHB is planning to not only cover the young leaders in this kind of programs and to involve the whole institution students in this kind of program to give benefits to them. Okay, that's all from me.
Okay, good question. Good question, but I'm going to question you back. Okay, I just mentioned about aspirations versus expectation. Okay, what you should have, each and every one of you, okay, you are privileged maybe to be here because you are student leaders of that sort kind of thing. But some guys are not so privileged to be here. But wouldn't you think that they should be made aware of all this? Because it's just, ESG is not only for you, not only the selected few, not only for the chosen ones. It's for all. Okay, so in so much as the bank would want to reach all, but we need to be doing it systematically. So we are doing it with the leaders, with the hope. Sorry, I have to put expectation on you. That you would have aspirations to bring this back to your community, the community that you touch, your family, your friends in universities, and spread the word so that they can become one of us. Okay? I hope I have answered that. Okay? Done.
Alright, so our deepest gratitude to Yang Berbahagia Dato for a remarkable, insightful, inspiring and thought-provoking keynote session. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as a token of our heartfelt appreciation and gratitude, ESG 2026 would like to present a token of appreciation to our keynote speaker. For this, please welcome to the stage Yang Berusaha, Professor Dr. Muhammad Izani bin Muhammad Zain, Deputy Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs and Alumni, University Malaysia Terengganu, to present the token of appreciation to our honorable guest. Yang Berusaha Prof for presenting the now we invite our keynote speaker Yang Berbahagia Dato Adissasikin along with the honorable guest and summit delegates to remain together for a group photography session. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, with that, we have come to the end of the keynote session for ESG Global Young Leaders Summit 2026. On behalf of University Malaysia Terengganu and the organizing committee, we extend our heartfelt appreciation to all our guests of honor, distinguished delegates, speakers, partners and participants for your presence and invaluable support in making today's program a meaningful success. Before we proceed, may we request all poster presenter to kindly make their way to their respective booth and stand by for the walkthrough. So saya mohon mana-mana pembentang-pembentang poster. So saya mohon kepada mana-mana pembentang poster untuk bersedia-sedialah di poster masing-masing. So kita akan ada sesi lawatan dari yang berbahagia Dato'.